Hey guys, I'm back again. This is Nikkie Knowles, and welcome to Hot Mess with me, Nikkie Knowles. Okay, so listen, I spent some time thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about? And fall is coming up, and let me tell you, I used to be stylish before I had all these kids. I was cute back in the 90s. Now, I just found myself in mom mode. So, you know how that can be sometimes. You just want to put on something that's comfortable so you can get out the door. However, this is not always good when you got stuff that you need to be cute for. So I brought in someone who's very special to me. It's like one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. His name is Mr. Nicholas Grice. He's a stylist and a fashion expert. So we went out and we did a little shopping and we did some things, and he showed me some trends that are coming up for the fall. And I wanted to share that with you. So let's watch this first video.
So part of the reason I gave you these jeans, number one is these are what we call a high-rise slim crop. So what's important about wearing denim like this, especially for someone with your shape, typically when you have a little bit of little extra cushion in the back, and you kind of want to still take on the fall trend of a flared jean for someone of your height. A lot of times flared jeans are a little bit too long, and then you have to get them tailored, blah, blah, blah. But what's great is having this look gives you that flared look. You can still put a booty on with this, and then also they help kind of flatter the shape in the back. All right, got to get a little bit of that action. All right, and then also one of the fall trends is every woman needs, right? So every woman needs the perfect kind of lightweight jacket for going into work early in the morning. You don't want to wear a full coat, but then also on hanging out on the weekends. Something super, super cute. A color like this is kind of like a pine and or fall green. What's great is that it goes with everything. It's one of those kind of ultra-Brilliant styles. You have a little bit of padding and down comforter, and then I just paired it with a medium to dressy top. So let's say you're going to work, you'll still be professional, but then also when it's time to go out a little bit later, you can kind of just throw this on.
So welcome, Mr. Nicholas Grice. Hey, Nicholas.
What's going on?
Thank you so much. So, Nicholas, let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
You were talking about what every woman needs. Let's talk about that a little bit because it's fall is coming, even though, lately it's been 80 degrees. I don't know if Jesus is coming back or what. I'm just going to prepare my heart, but whatever. So,
global warming is real. I just want people to know that. Okay. It's real. Okay.
So let's talk about what every woman needs for this fall season.
Yes. Number one, thank you so much for having me. You are literally one of the funniest people I think I've ever met in my life. And I cannot say that. That is not just because family. It's literally just like genuinely funny. We've been laughing for...
Stop it. Go on.
Forever, right? So getting into fall fashion, right? What does every woman need, right? So and in your case and in most women, people are trying to just figure out, how do I dress for my body type? How do I figure out, what are the basics, right? So going into this season, one of the biggest things that I wanted to make sure we put you in was finding the perfect jean, right? So with every single season, every single year, everything in denim usually changes up just a little bit. It's, mid-rise, high-rise, blah, 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 blah. Specifically for you, we put you in a bunch of high-rise styles, which I think we'll talk about a little later. So, but it's finding the perfect jean. It's finding the perfect skirt. It's finding the perfect blazer. And that's blazer in two fronts, right? So you have your more relaxed, kind of like casual, and then you have your dressy, but it's finding a blazer that fits that body type. Also, it's finding the right, going into fall, finding the right booty and or boot or shoe to kind of rock that you can kind of, go with a bunch of things. One of the big trends for this fall is kind of like that. You remember the movie Clueless, when everyone was wearing like tweed and kind of like super, super like ballet-y, really LA tweed is back in a big way. And I feel like we're gonna also talk about that later. So finding the perfect tweed, which works best for you. Also, velvet, right? So velvet is, every woman needs something velvet in their closet, whether it be a velvet pant, a velvet skirt, a velvet blazer, a velvet dress. But something that kind of just fits the body perfectly. Velvet is something that, for the most part, never goes out of style. It's just making sure you find the right, the right piece to kind of make it work, and then also balancing that with leather, right? Having leather in your wardrobe, I feel like, is one of the best staples you can ever have. And one of my favorite things, especially when you find a genuine leather item, is something that you can wear for years and years and years and years to come. So those are some basics that I would definitely say that every woman needs in her closet.
So let me tell you something. When I'm not even gonna lie, when you was like, I think you need a high waist jean, I was like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I mean, I know I talk about it all the time. I know I got this middle section, but I don't want to say I was offended, but I was like really in my feelings when you were like considering, when you just told me, first of all, you asked me what my sizes were, and I told you, and you just looked at me like, poor baby. So, and once we got into the dressing room, I clearly found out that, yeah, I was living in delusion.
Delusional, delusional,
So,
delusional.
um,
One
yeah,
of the
so
things I would say that and not to cut you off, I'm sorry. One of the things that I would say that I find, or that I see in my every single day, just doing the personal styling thing, working in retail, supporting stores with employees. I work in retail. I'm a manager and a trainer. One of the things that I see is that a lot of women don't know their real size when it comes to pants, when it comes to blazers, when it comes to things, right? And even in a lot of cases, even shoes, right? So one of the things I love to ask is like, okay, so what size do you typically wear? And so if they've never shopped a specific brand, they may say, oh, I'm a this or I'm a that. And then, we get them in something and they're like, okay, this isn't my size. So I think one of the basic things is just being able to know what works for your body type, and also being able to know your size. In your
yeah,
case specifically, I think that, for the last couple of years, mid-rise, mid whatever jeans have just been the norm. But mid-rise jeans don't work for every single body type. They really don't. And if you are curvy, if you got a little bit of tummy, if you got a little bit of booty, a lot of times a high waist jean can kind of help bring all of that in and smooth you out so that you're able to see that there's shape in there. And
right.
I feel like, especially in your case, we were like, okay, what works, right? And so uh, the flared jean, the boot cut is really is back in a big way. And a lot of times when you're short, being able to make a boot cut jean work when you're short is just like, how do I do that? And in your case, we did a cropped flare, which I
Right.
think is important. Boot cut and flare are two totally different styles. There's usually the difference between where the jean hits you, number one, in the waist, number two in the thigh, and number three in the calf and or knee point, where it kind of flares out. So a flare jean usually is straighter all the way through the leg and then starts to flare mid calf and around the ankle. A boot cut jean actually starts to flare a little bit higher, and usually higher to compensate for a boot. Right, so you'll usually see a boot cut jean start to flare about an inch and a half to 2 inches higher, depending on the cut. For you, because you're short, and a lot of times I tell people, if you're a little bit short, it's all right to go for a cropped flare jean.
I'm not I'm not necessarily short. I'm fun size.
Fun
Let's
size, yeah, your fun size. And
okay.
in the fun, it's just it is being able to figure out what works best for your body type. And yeah, like, I love the fact that when we would put those jeans on you, I remember we were holding them up and you were like, and I'm like, let's see where it hits you. But what's great is that style, especially in that kind of like everyday blue wash, it really worked. It
Yeah,
really
it is.
worked. And we,
I was
we
shocked.
put it with so many outfits. And so
Yeah.
it's
I
just,
was
again, figuring out what works best.
You talked about the tweed. This next video that we had talks about the tweed, and that's coming back. Look, you had mentioned Clueless. Yeah, and I looking back, like I would watch that movie now and I would just be like, what would we wear? But now you look and it's It's the same styles coming back. Once after we did the little shopping spree, now I'm aware and alert of what I see because you've informed me of what's out there. I'm like, oh, I'm hip now. I know what to do. No more mom mode. So let's watch this next clip.
Yes, and you ready? Cool. All right. So this is a look I picked, kind of like a desk to dinner type of look. So let's say you got a casual Friday, and you still say, hey, I want to wear a cute blouse and I want a little jacket or something to kind of throw with it. So one of the trends also going into fall, you're going to see this kind of like tweed-esque also print or style that we call houndstooth. Multicolors. You can see there's a bunch of different colors, so it doesn't matter what top or bottom you kind of put with something like this, but for the most part it works as one of those pieces that, hey, I can wear this to the office and then go out to dinner. So I put Nikki in a boot cut high-rise jean. So one of the other videos I showed you guys was talking about a cropped flare. So if you're saying, Nick, I just can't see myself wearing a cropped flare, then you go ahead and get a boot cut. Now I cuff these just to give you an idea of what it would look like if she got them hemmed. If you're into alterations, show her, go for it. But then also you want to do as dark a wash as possible. There's a little bit of sandblasting here, which again is okay in a jean. But again, if you've got a little bit of a booty and got a little bit of a tummy, high rise is probably the way to go and as much stretch as you can possibly get. So also just want to show you just as a cute kind of like fun, easy top that kind of gives you that classic like baby doll. But what I love is that it has a nice little flow to it. It's still sitting pocket, so still underneath. So you got a whole bunch of under boob, but then also in the front, just a girly, fun little bow detail. So again, if you're going out, boom, easy, simple, and still kind of flattering and smooths out.
Now, baby, when I tell you how against that shirt I was like, Nicholas, I'm not wearing this grandma pleated big bow under my thick neck belt.
I feel like you may have said frock. You may have used the word frock.
I think I did use the word
I,
frock because I was
I
like,
feel
I'm
like
not wearing that. I'm not wearing that. I was so against wearing that. Because here's the thing, I'm still working on this,
as we all are. No one has Michelle Obama arms. Nobody.
right.
But Michelle Obama.
But Michelle, but my concern was the arm because sometimes when I get like tank tops or shirts with no sleeves, this part can be not even, and so you got a little bit more of your armpit hanging out than you really want to show. You know what I'm saying? It might be the stores I'm shopping at, but whatever. We'll just
Well,
leave it at.
I mean, I think that, and we specifically, I think I even mentioned in that video, being able to figure out, hey, can I wear pleats? For the most part, most body types can, but again, it's figuring out how many pleats is too much, what balance is the right size, length, and stuff like that. So I think I'm a person. It's all about proportions, right? So if you do, in your case, if we did a looser fitting blouse on top, right? But then we gave you a very smooth fitting, although boot cut, a very smooth fitting denim on the bottom, something that was dark, something that brought your waist in and made your waist look tiny. So when we had a top that was kind of baby doll and slightly oversized, it still had your proportions in there. It still showed, hey, I have a waist in here, I've got a chest, and it just helps balance you out. So another trend for fall is pleating and then also super, super feminine details, right? So something like the bow, right? The pleating in the top, the being oversized, like something super, super feminine. And then in addition to that, plaid, right? Plaid and houndstooth are enduring staples. You're in the blazer right now, exactly. So
What is for you?
which I appreciate. Plaid and houndstooth are literally two of my favorite prints, and they're some of the most timeless. Plaid is back in such a big way, and it's back in a big way when it comes to blazers, when it comes to jackets. And remember that coats, blazers typically are what we call a third piece or an accenting piece. They act as outfit completers, right? So they are there to help accentuate the look, not take away, not kind of the side. It is literally to help add to the look. So whenever you have a coat, whenever you have a blazer, make sure it is adding on to or completing the look as opposed to just kind of being there. And what's great about houndstooth and plaid, they are timeless, both prints. And a lot of times you'll see it in, especially now you see them in the browns. We talked about olive branch green, which greens. It's green. You're seeing green everywhere, right? Especially this season, it's green, 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 and a lot of derivatives. But being able to pair that back to a dress, being able to pair it back to jeans, being able to pair it back to pants, houndstooth, like that. The blazer that you're wearing right now literally can go with almost anything. And that's one of my favorite things about plaid, and it's one of those things that every now and then it comes up. But if you were to say, okay, Nick, how do I classify that? We call it right now. We're calling it edgy prep. So it is preppy details with a little bit of edge. So you'll see, instead of just a regular black button, sometimes now the preppy tweed you'll see with gold buttons or leather accents. That's really one of those things now that's kind of making it on trend for right now.
So I have a show coming up, and I wanted to, express what I've learned from you. So I wanted to wear this particular jacket, blazer, with another fitted top and some leggings with some cute booties. Could I do that?
100%.
Okay, so that
100%. Yes.
So if y'all see me out in these streets with this outfit, don't mind your business.
But what's important is blazers for knowing your blazer for your body type, right? So there are so many types of blazers. There's long ones, there's short ones, there's ones with 3/4 sleeves, there's ones with buttons, there's ones with no buttons, there's boyfriend blazers. So being prepared to kind of try on and figure out what works best for you. Oversized blazers doesn't work. Blazers don't work for every single body type. Super fitted blazers don't work for every body type. So just be willing to try on, being able to figure out. In your case, you're great because you can kind of straddle the line between doing that oversized, almost like boyfriend type, which I think the one you're wearing now is. You can kind of do like a little sleeve roll, exactly, right?
Gold detail.
Fun details, exactly. And it doesn't matter. You could do a collared shirt. You can do a little tank. You can do a bodysuit. You could put this with a jumpsuit. And I think the fit that you have specifically is like more of like a boyfriend, kind of like squared and blocked off. But what's great is that you could have something more fitted and something a little bit more sensual and more feminine. But finding your right blazer size is super, super, super important.
So speaking of blazers, man, we found the best
amazing
blazer ever. Like I became a whole nother person when I tried this blazer on. I was just like, hallelujah. Like it was created for me until I looked at the price. I was like, yeah, no, this is not me today. Let's just say that. It's not me
right? Soon.
It was nice. Let's go ahead and show that clip of the green leather.
So one of my other favorite trends that you're going to see for fall and also going into winter time, if you will, is the leather blazer. Every woman needs a leather blazer, whether it be real leather, whether it be faux leather. One of the most important things is to make sure that it fits you, right? So it needs to fit through the shoulders. It needs to give you a good bust. You can turn around for me too, and then also make you look as small as you possibly can from the back. So super, super cute. And again, what color are we showing? Green, 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 green. Again, you're going to see this all throughout the fall, but all different shades of really, really beautiful green. This happens to be real leather. But obviously, if you can't afford the real leather, try to find a faux leather blazer, but that looks as real as possible.
Rainbow.
But also think green for the fall, or black. Black also works as well. What's great about black obviously goes with everything, but a color like this is neutralizing. Now, in Nikkie's case, I just paired it with a cute kind of long sleeve, something top with just a great print, accent marks. Again, something timeless, basic little V-neck. And again, still with the high-rise bootcut denim. But the crop flare that I showed you guys earlier can go with that. Stop the video. You want to hold those.
All that modeling, you were modeling hard.
I was cute in that green blazer. You couldn't tell me nothing. Let me tell you something. I was living. I wasn't even in the store anymore with that green blazer on. I wanted to walk the streets of, where were we? Philadelphia, King of Prussia. I wanted to be out in these streets with a theme song. You know that song, Cutie Pie? Cutie Pie. Man, let me tell you, I was not even in the store no more with that green blazer.
I feel like
I had a
uh,
flashback. I had to calm down. Listen,
okay,
but you talked about
blazers.
the fit, like how to get a fit for a good blazer. Let's talk about that.
So it's really important to figure out your proportions and also what size works for you. Um, that specific one was what we call like a one button, almost peplum style blazer. Is that right for every single body type? No. I say if you can help it, find a blazer that is great for you closed and great for you open. However, sometimes, and a lot of cases or in certain cases, just leave it open. I'm not a big blazer buttoner. I'm not big on that, but I know some ladies and even some guys like to button their blazers. But it's figuring out what works best for you in the shoulders, right? So you don't want to feel tight in the arms, and then also what is going to help uh, not fully minimize your bust so that it's comfortable, right? And so having the right having the right undergarments are super important, but
Listen,
also having the right blazer. Hello, we know that, right? But also
my
having the right
grandmother
blazer
used to
that
say,
fits you.
Grandma used to say, don't leave your house without that firm foundation. Firm is what she said. Firm. Suck it in and pull it up. You got to pull it in and pull it up. She didn't play them games. She didn't play them games.
I would say, if no one else as a kid or in my formative years, if no one else inspired me to just be fashionable and kind of go for it, it was grandma. I definitely would say she was one of the best dressed women I think that I'd ever seen, especially as a kid. Right when Sundays came, it was like no, it was a sense of occasion, right? And so I feel like kind of taking that back to where we are now. COVID was 2 years, two, through three, four, five. God only knows, right? I feel like the sense of occasion is now starting to really come back to dressing, and having a leather blazer is one of those wardrobe staples. If you really think about it, it's like leather, right? When people think about leather, you think about leather shoes or leather pants. But to think about a leather blazer and have something that fits you, and again, if I think I even said it in the video, if you can splurge on a real leather blazer and get something that's like a good quality Italian leather or Japanese, or even French make a nice leather. If you can find a blazer that fits you well, that is something that will never, ever go out of style, right? And whether it's boyfriend, whether and by boyfriend I mean kind of oversized, whether it's double breasted, which works for some body types. If you can find something in leather, and again, if it's faux, totally fine. Um, I just think it's just one of those timeless things that it doesn't matter, what year it is. I guarantee you, if you were to wear that blazer next year or the year after, or the year after, somebody's gonna say, "Wow, that's really nice," right? And that color of the season, I think our Civic said it earlier today, green, right? Green is everywhere, but especially that kind of like olive branchy, olive color. There's some dark tones in there, you know what I
And
mean? But
listen, we saw that same blazer in black, and it did not give me the same feeling as
it
that
wasn't
in.
the same. It wasn't the same.
It was
It wasn't
not
the same.
the same blazer at
I
all.
tell people black though just as a pivot point, right? Because some people
Right.
are like, oh, I can't wear green or I can't. All right, fine, go with black. If you look bad in black, then something's wrong.
That green was everything.
It was gorgeous, uh, and I remember you putting it on. You definitely transformed into another person to the point
I
where
acted a straight fool in that
you had
green.
to, yeah, it was rough. We kind
Woo.
of had to snap you.
Yeah, you was like, bring
We had
your
to
entire
snap
thing.
back.
I was
Hot
trying
mess, right? It
to
was a hot mess.
was a hot mess. I was like, I can get out of here. I can get out of here with this blazer because that. But then, Nicholas, you flipped it all the way around on me because you had mentioned this earlier in the interview where you were talking about velvet. And I'm telling you, when you first mentioned velvet or suede, I was like, he has bumped his head. I'm not putting on velvet. I'm not putting on suede. I am not a couch. But you gave me this beautiful jumper.
Yeah.
And I always thought I couldn't wear a jumper because I feel like I look like a weeble. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. And then you gave me a belted jumper with suede, right? What was it? Velvet
It was
suede?
velvet. It was velvet. It was velvet.
It was beautiful.
Plush. Plush
Yes,
velvet.
very plush, very rich in color. Let's watch that video because man, I was just totally surprised by that outfit.
Ready? All right, so the velvet jumpsuit, I'm sure we've seen it before, but this is also one of my favorite looks. It's luscious, it's easy, it's simple. And one of my favorite things is pairing this again with or using a leather blazer as an accenting piece, right? So leather, I showed you guys earlier, done with denim and like a cute little top. But then leather against velvet, super, super cute. Now this guy happens to have a short sleeve and it's still fine to accentuate. Now what's great is, again, if you did this green blazer, if you did it black, you can still pair it back to blue. Velvet jumpsuit, super easy. This guy has pockets, wide leg, all the way through. Again, great for almost any body type. But if you are going out on an evening, you're going to a black tie event, and you're like, oh, I just want something different. Velvet jumpsuit, super cute. And actually, this guy wraps and has his little pockets. One of those easy pieces.
You couldn't tell. I was Diana Ross when I had that on. You couldn't tell me nothing. Listen, I looked a whole
very Boogie Nights. It was like Boogie Nights though, right? Like a little like.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for somewhere to go. I was looking for somewhere to be out in these streets in that entire outfit. What shoe? What shoe? Because that's my issue. Like that was a wide leg jumper, and I was so nervous about the belt because I have at the middle the fupa. So what belt? I mean, one, what shoe would you wear with that? And then the it just blew me away.
So in a look like that, right? So this is also a staple that I say every woman needs, right? Every woman needs some velvet in her closet. The thing is that finding velvet that is timeless can be a little tricky because of body types and certain things go out of style. So when it comes to a jumpsuit, for the most part, jumpsuits are a super safe choice because for the most part, jumpsuits never really go out of style. So if you have a velvet jumpsuit, it doesn't really matter what year it is, as long as you're breaking it out in the fall. Obviously, don't be in the middle of summer in a velvet jumpsuit because number one, you're gonna be hot, and two, where you go, right? So, but in the fall, right? In the fall time, yes, have a little bit of velvet in your closet and keep the color simple, right? We're not talking purple velvet, right? Think a really dark green. Think about blues, dark blues, rich blues, a gray, blacks, right? In addition to for wide legs, I think it's super important. Again, we talk about proportions. So in something like that, I think it's important to, if you can, not everybody can, but if you can, have a little elevation. So what's great is with the jumpsuit like that, especially having a wide leg, you can do something strappy. You can do a booty. You can do a pump. You can do, even if you wanted to really kind of be that person, you can even do like an over the knee boot. Is that a little much? Yes, for some, but something with a little elevation so that it kind of just adds to the sophistication of the look, and also adds to the sense of occasion. Not everyone can wear heels, not everyone can wear a pump. So obviously, if you need to do flats, that's where tailoring comes in. But yeah, something like that, you can add a variety of lengths. And especially for your body type specifically, I think a wide leg really kind of helps not draw so much attention to the things that you don't want, but also, especially if you
watch it. I like how you worded that. I like the things that I don't
want. Things that you don't want, exactly. But when you have a little elevation, it kind of just makes those things kind of sway. It again smooths you out. And there's been many times where I've had clients that are curvy and sometimes clients that are thin. And when you're putting things on and it's just super tight and unrestricting, you don't feel as comfortable, right? You feel like, oh, you can see whatever. But in that jumpsuit specifically, it was wide, it was comfortable, and you felt confident, right? You felt confident. So then even the way you were standing in it, you felt better about yourself, right?
I did.
You looked at yourself and you're like, oh my God, this looks great. In that case, in the leather blazer, right? How many times have you had on a dress that may have been sleeveless or short sleeve and you go out and you're like, ooh, I need a jacket, or ooh, I need a wrapper, ooh. So what's great is we accentuated that jumpsuit, just flanked your shoulders, right? You have pockets in that. We just flanked you in the blazer as just a little bit of a covering, right? So what's great about a leather blazer, it can accentuate and act as a shawl. It can act as, a chic cardigan, if you will, right? Just to kind of flank the look, right? We weren't buttoning in, right? We were just kind of draping it over you just to kind of give that jumpsuit just a little bit of edge, right? So now we have edgy prep going on. We have the leather trend going on. And something that you're going to see a lot during holiday is velvet and what we call a version of sequins, rhinestones, or a little bit of shimmer anything that you can do, again, that sense of occasion is really, really back. And I feel like COVID kind of took that away. So I feel like people for holiday are really going to go all out this year. You're going to see you're going to see shimmer, you're going to see over the top, you're going to see jewel tones and rhinestones and velvet, right? So my thing is velvet is the ease into it, right? Because not everyone can pull up a sequence dress, right?
Listen, when you told me sequence at the mall, I was like, I mean, I don't know why I doubted you though, because every time you kind of pull it out, but I'm stuck now, like I said earlier, now that I've been out and I'm, trying to find my fall wardrobe and get myself together, I'm starting to see everything that you talked about. And there's some sequence. I'm like, oh, okay. Like if I'm going to a holiday party, I found this sequence jumper. And it wasn't like, look at me. It was like a jewel tone, like a coral, like tannish, like I don't know how to explain it. Like a gold more than I say gold. And it was a strappy, came down, and I thought about, you could pair that with a nice leather jacket, like you said, and then like a boot or a booty, like you said, some elevation. So
little elevation, exactly.
I might go back and get that for a holiday party or New Year's Eve.
That'd be perfect for New Year's. Perfect for New Year's.
So yeah, so you really got me thinking. So thank you, Nicholas, for coming out. You guys, this has been really, really enlightening. It was really, really fun. I went in this with an attitude because one, I hate trying on clothes. I really hate trying on clothes. I hate trying on clothes. Like to stand in front of him. He was like, go ahead and take your clothes off. I was like, nope, I don't need to see that. I don't want to see that at all. I saw it at the house. I don't need to see it here in this public building. I don't know if they have cameras back here. But it was just a wonderful experience. I'm glad I did it. And so, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me in two spots. So I have a little styling page, so NG Styling Solutions on IG. Again, that's NG Styling Solutions. I'm on IG, or my personal page, the Mr. Nice Price, where you can find me posting something about work or showing off a customer or something. But yeah, this was fun. It was so much fun. I one of my favorite things to do is really just kind of help people kind of figure out what they want in their style. NG Styling Solutions is my personal business, my personal brand. So one of the things I do, we do closet dives, and what that means is we kind of go through your closet, we figure out what works, what can be donated, what is timeless, and then what needs to just go ahead and go to the trash, right? We're not even going to give this to somebody else. We're going to just say, baby, it's time to let it go, right? It's time to let it go. So we do closet dives, we do wardrobe refreshers. So let's say either you gained weight or you lost weight, and you're like, Nick, I have no idea how to dress for my body type. How do I figure that out? I consider myself an expert in dressing for your body type. We talk about denim care. I do denim care, because caring for your denim is super important. People don't realize, like, oh, I can never find my good pair of jeans, or I can never, right? So denim care, and then also special occasions. So if you're like, hey, I have an event, I have a conference, I need to kind of figure what that looks like, and what do I want to wear.
Like New Year's Eve is coming up. Everybody's talking like the big talk now, since everybody's going to be out this New Year's Eve, is they're going to be dressed to the nines. So you'll be getting my call.
Okay, that's right. So, but yes, you can find me at those two places on IG. But thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, and I cannot wait to do it again.
We will.
Anybody else that wants to join, right?
We need to pray that Nicholas gets his own YouTube channel and does this on a regular basis, because that's what I feel you need to do next. Is just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. All right. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
So again, thank you, Nicholas.
Where can you find you? Where can everybody find you?
So listen, you can find me on this YouTube channel, Funny Girl Productions. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also find me on social media at Funny Girl Productions, or you can go to my website, funnygirlproductions.com. So make sure you go ahead and follow me. And thank you, Nicholas, again.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for having me. I saw in the back that you have Sweetie's coffee. I'm not typically a coffee drinker, but I definitely have heard some really good things about Sweetie's coffee. Does she do tea? Do they do tea?
We're going to probably talk about that tea a little later. But right now they're doing hot chocolate and coffee. So, it's getting warm out. Cool outside. So we're going to say thank you to Sweetie's Coffee. They're our sponsor. Yay. Check them out on sweetiescoffee.com. You can also follow them on Instagram and social media as well. So good save, Nicholas. Thanks for bringing up Sweeties. And thank you again. I love you. Nicholas is my cousin. Like I said, he's like my favorite person in the whole wide world. Whenever we get together as a cut up, they won't let us sit together in church at all anymore. Or funerals.
But no, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. Thank you. Hot Mess is blowing up. It's blowing up. So thank you for letting me be in on the ground, the few ground levels. When you are like Netflix, when you got your Netflix special, I just want to
You're gonna dress me. You're gonna dress me. So.
Oh, of course. But I just want to be in the front row. That's all. Okay.
You will.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye. All right, now it's time for the hot mess moment. And let me tell you, this hot mess moment has everything to do with Nicholas. We have gone out many times helping dress different family members. And so there was this one particular family member, she had an event to go to. So we were all out trying to find her an outfit for this event that she needed to go to. And Nicholas found her this really nice ensemble, but she needed a backless, strapless bra. And so a friend of ours was like, hey, you do have a backless, strapless bra. You could wear that. And she was like, no, I gave it to me. Because she said it didn't fit anymore. So I just happened to be wearing that backless, strapless bra that day while we were in the mall. Not that I needed, I think I just put it on because I needed to do laundry. Hot mess, just whatever. At any rate, they were like, Nikki, where's that backless, strapless bra? And I was like, oh, well, I'm wearing it. So, the day goes on and we're all driving in Nicholas's truck and we drop our family member off at her house, and her assistant was like, I'm going to go in and help her, put this outfit together and put the accessories together and everything. So Nicholas and I, we were going to another place. And so we were like, okay, bye. And so when my family member gets out of the car, her assistant was like, hand over that backless, strapless bra. I was so embarrassed because she made me take off the backless, strapless bra in the truck. Like I went home, like, Nicholas could not stop laughing. His truck was shaking. He was laughing so hard. I've never been so embarrassed in my life. It's funny now. It was not funny at the time because I was just like, you just going to leave me out here like this? It was so funny. So funny. It was just a hot mess. I gave it to her. I ain't seen the bra since. I just went out and bought me a new one. I should have asked Nicholas to go with me because I'm quite sure I didn't get the right size. But that was my hot mess moment. I have many hot mess moments with Nicholas and some friends of ours. So don't forget to follow him at NG Styling Solutions and the Mr. Nice Grice on Instagram, and follow me on social media, IG and Facebook, and TikTok, Funny Girl Productions, and my website, funnygirlproductions.com. So thank you for rocking with me and my hot mess, because I can be a hot mess. So y'all keep praying for me. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So you guys be blessed, and I'm out.